Give me the thumbs up that they can actually got it. Let's rock and roll. Now, we are talking about podcasting. We are talking about building your business. But first and foremost, it's about how do you attract more clients, make faster sales with less stress. Put a big Y in there if you're on board with that's what we're going to focus on today. Today is a business building masterclass, not just how to get on and have a good time being a podcast guest. So let's have a quick look at what it is and why you are actually here in the first place. Is it because you actually do want more clients, easier sales? I'll just get my pen all sorted, the right colors. More clients, easier sales, consistency. One of the biggest things I find with entrepreneurs is consistency. When you get into the habit of getting on podcasts and generating the income that I'm going to share with you, you will have consistency. And the biggest thing is there's people out there that are teaching you how to get on 100 podcasts. Why do you want to do that? I generate six figures since January 21. You'll hear the story a little bit later. Since January 21, every year from being a podcast guest, and I get on no more than 20, maybe 21 podcasts each year. So why would you want to need to run around and get on get on over 100? You don't. When you do it this way, you will have consistency. Generally, I spend an hour sort of curating some podcasts, generally answering requests, and then I get on maybe one or two a month. That is a system. When you follow a system, yesterday we were in training, they were going through their framework to answer the questions and be a quality and exciting podcast guest. And they were following the framework for their bankable story. Not just your random story, but your bankable story. They said, Steve, it was so easy. I didn't have to remember all the words. I just had to follow the framework. So a system really helps. And more control. Type in a big C if actually you want more control of your income, because I know that's a big one. There's a few putting the C's in already. Because generally there are three ways people work. There's guesswork. You get out, you have a crack, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And then there is hard work. You guys are already doing the hard work. You've shown up. You've shown you're prepared to do the hard work, so you're already doing that. But sometimes hard work doesn't always pay off. You're doing the wrong work, it becomes harder work, and it doesn't always pay off. And then there are those who follow a framework. Now, when you follow a framework, and that's what I've always done, whenever I needed to grow, there was two things that I did first. Who do I need to become first? And whose system and framework can I go and learn and pay for so I can implement it and shortcut my success? So they're the things that I've always done. Worked on me first, but then whose system and framework? Follow somebody who's done all the hard work, made all the mistakes, and shortcut my success. Now, here are the three key ingredients that we're going to work through today. But when you look at it, this is just business. First and foremost, you need to stand out and above your competition. Have a think about how you are rating yourself on that. Are you seen as the same as everybody else? Do you compete hard? Or are you the person that most people run to? That's what we're going to talk about today. Then the next thing is, how do you get in front of more of your ideal clients? Now, podcasting is now becoming one of the most powerful ways to do that. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Standing out, becoming more attractive to your high value clients, getting in front of more ideal clients, and sell more easily. There's no point having all of these leads, people wanting to have discussions with you, if you can't convert them into a client. Put a number 3 in if you believe all three are essential to grow your business, and it's okay that that's what we're going to focus on today. We've got some 3s flying through. Absolutely. 3. This is business growth, and you're going to get the behind the scenes secrets on how you do it the easiest way. See, one of the reasons I'm putting this on this week is the 23rd of August, which was last week. I couldn't squeeze it in, is the 40th anniversary of me being a full-time entrepreneur. 23rd of August, we opened a health club. My sister and I threw in all of our savings. My parents mortgaged their house to put it on the line to open a health club. We opened it in 1983 when interest rates were 17.8%. For all of you though that are kicking and screaming and thinking, oh, we got 7% interest rates, the world is doomed. Try opening up a business in the middle of a recession with 17.8% interest rates and surviving. The biggest thing we did was follow those three things here. We stood out. We were different to anybody else in our marketplace. We built lots of different programs. We did ones for kids. I franchised into 5 countries, did a weight loss program. Of course, we wanted to look after them. I licensed that into 2 countries. Everything so far has followed those exact same things. Stand out, get in front of your ideal market, and sell more easily. Okay. One of the big things that we're going to look at is how you can do all of that as well. I need you to write this down. Write this down now. Technology changes, people don't. Everything that I used back then, apart from some of the tech, everything to communicate and work with people back in 1983 is still valid today, and I've used it every step of the way. Okay, what a lot of people think is, oh, people are changing because of tech. No, I'm going to give you the foundation, the principles that has worked for over 40 years, nonstop, and is working for me currently today and all of the people that are doing our programs. To bring you up to date on what's happening now, January 21, most of you guys who are in Australia and probably across the world, it was tough. COVID. In January, in Australia, we're on holidays, hibernation, Christmas, and COVID all hitting at once. A lot of the people I were working with were struggling, surviving on government handouts. My business was not doing that well. So I thought, what am I going to do? I need to move myself via the Zoom chair to America, a bigger market. And the first thing that I did is, what am I going to do to stand out? I can't go over there as a coach. I can't go over there as a sales trainer. There's 100,000 of those everywhere. So I looked at what was it that I did that was different. I got 20 years in TV video experience, a business trainer, a sales trainer. What was the biggest problem? People were going from handshakes to Zoom and they couldn't handle it. So I wrote and created the art and science of virtual selling, and that's what I took. So I wrote that first. One introduction and podcasting only in the next 10 months basically went to 6 figures growth, from 0 to 6 figures in 10 months. Type a 6 in the comments there if you would like to replicate that. I went over as an unknown. I didn't have a big track record, but I followed exactly the same framework, system that I'm giving you today, that you could replicate it as well. Got lots of 6, lots of people want to do this. Cool. Okay. Now, question. I will tell you, I'm at the tail end of bronchitis. It's nothing catchy. You can't catch it through Zoom anyway. I will cough a little bit, but I'm not unwell. So tell me a little bit about you. And I know we've got all sorts of different levels of businesses here. Where are you at? If you under 5K a month, I would call you an emerging business. Okay. 5 to 10, you're in the growth phase. 10 plus, you're a leverage. So whether you, just so that we don't mix it all up, you can either put E, G, or L, or you could put 1, 2, or 3. Let me know where you're at. And I'm expecting probably 60, 70% at least ones, a handful of 2s, and 1 or 2 3s, because that's what we're going to be working on here today. Okay, while we get that there, we've got, as I See, we've got lots of ones. Okay, here's the worksheet. Here's the worksheet that we're going to go through today. Now I'm going to go back one slide. And if you want to draw your own up, it's going to be very, very simple. Put 3 columns down, and then you're actually going to have some lines coming across here. So basically have the 3 columns. This is going to be the strategy. This is going to be, well, actually, strategy. This is what you're going to do when you implement it. And this is going to be the results that you do. Okay. Hunter's just put the link in there. If you can quickly print it off, you can do it. That's great. If not, just draw the columns and follow us through. Okay. To make it easy on me, I'm basing this on somebody who's around 10,000 per month, has 1 client, 1,000 per month. Okay. Now, if you're less, that's fine. If you're around 5K, then you divide it by 2. If it's 500 a month, then you can divide that by 2. Okay. This is just to make it easy for me to show calculations. So the first thing we're going to get onto is this is the actual blueprint that we use to generate 4, 5, 6 figures per year. Now, the first thing we're actually going to go through today is you standing out. Create you to be the prize. And we're going to look at just one thing here. We're going to look at your positioning. Now, a lot of people don't get their positioning right. They don't get their bankable story right. They don't get how they communicate with people right. This is the most valuable thing you can do and get right. All the marketing, the sales, everything comes later. But if you don't get this right, you are losing thousands of dollars. So we're going to start on this part first. This is the first bit, how you can get out there and attract more high quality, high level clients. And some of you that have been through my training before, I talk about the brown box syndrome. The brown box syndrome is if you title yourself by the same as other people, by your occupation, your category, an accountant, a coach, a XYZ coach, a book writer, a consultant, a planner, an accountant, you are an A. You are competing with all the other A's out there. The thing with that is most time you're competing on price. Okay. Got someone knocking at the door, Hunter. So they're competing on price, and the A's generally are the lowest paid. You don't stand out. You really have to struggle to get your message across. However, when you position yourself as a the, and one of the things that when I work with you and those that are going to come and join, we will help uncover your uniqueness, uncover your unique bankable story, and be able to position you as a the. And when we're going to be talking about blueprints a little bit later on, when you create your system, your blueprint, your whatever, you become a the. Now, I know a lot of people talk about becoming an authority, which is great. It's certainly above a normal A. An authority means you have put some information out there, which is great. The creator of means you have created something that works. So the level above authority is the. When you move from an A to a the, your life and your bank balance changes. Just quickly, what do you think you are right now? That's not where you're going to end up today or the week after or the week after. An A or a the? Just quickly type in, and there's a fair chance we might have quite a few A's, a few bordering on these. And you've got some these coming through, which is awesome. Okay, the, yeah, shame, I know you're going to be a V. And yet there's a couple of people that have worked with me. They are some good these coming through. Cool. Okay, so that's the big thing here. The next thing you need to write down, if you haven't already done this when you've worked with me, is, okay, what's going on here? There we go. Whoops. Your perceived position predicts your profits. It is. How you're perceived out there in the marketplace predicts your profits. The way that I normally teach is I give you some information. The big thing is that we need to work on you creating your unique authority. And with my next level program, it's the preeminence and prominence. How you can rise above the authorities and create your unique preeminence. And prominence is you being everywhere. And you get a lot of it in the work that we're doing now. But your perceived position will predict your profits. A business consultant. What are we looking at here? Brown box? We're looking at very brown box. Yeah, I can see some heads nodding. Very brown box. Now, she worked with people on a part-time basis. Now, that's very popular now, being called a fractional. Now, being a fractional now has become very brown box. So being just a business consultant working part-time, being a fractional working part-time with people, that's now very brown box. We turned her into the back pocket CEO. Started creating her uniqueness, got a chapter in one of the books that we produced, and within 2 years was an international award winner, the top 20 innovative consultants globally. Now, was it because she went and got another qualification? Was it because she got better at what she did? Or was it that she became unique and stood out in the marketplace and got attention? She didn't spend any extra money on marketing, spent less, didn't spend any more money getting an education, just repackaged, repositioned, and recommunicated in a way that she stood out. Next person, a dentist. And our dentists are very brown box. I know we've got some people here in the health wellness industry. So I picked him because he was very, very brown box. And he did one of our programs. And when you come and do our programs, you have some online work and you have some group work. There's some group mentoring. In one of the group mentoring sessions, he was just sitting there, very quiet. He said, Steve, I'm a dentist. I don't sell. I don't like selling. They just come in and I fix it. When we actually uncovered who he was working with and his uniqueness, it was mainly with a group, a specific age where the teeth were breaking because of a specific filling that they had 30 years ago. And we looked at and created the Teeth for Life program. So instead of selling a broken tooth filling, I could fix it. He looked at it and said, look, you've got probably 6 or 7 others that might break in the next couple of years. Would you like to save time, pain, and money with our Teeth for Life program? And we can fix them before they break. So he went from selling an $1,800 wait for somebody to come in to selling programs that were paid fortnightly. And for those of you who are in America that don't know what fortnightly is, it's every 2 weeks. I learned people saying, what's fortnightly, Steve? It's not the game fortnight. It's every 2 weeks. And I've blanked these out because I'm not showing what he did. That is 7 figures. He knows that he's got 7 figures coming in the door because he set it up. He moved from an A dentist to the creator of the Teeth for Life program in another dental practice. So he's gone from an absolutely super brown box to a highly profitable non-brown box. Does anybody want those sorts of results? If we can do it for a dentist, if we can do it for a business coach, and the next person was a VA, was basically, and she called herself a VA, competing against other VAs. Okay. So when, again, she did the program a couple of weeks into it, because this is the first thing we do. If you want to come and do our program, the first thing that we look at is being able to help you get out there and put more money back in your bank account by changing your positioning. She became, and she already was, a business growth system specialist. She was a VA that specialized in helping business implement systems, but she called herself a VA. Created a blueprint, got more clarity, more confidence, better energy, and more clients. The big thing was she had already been doing 3 years of what you're doing today. 3 years. And I got to the end, I said, no more. You've got to come and do the program because nothing has changed in those 3 years. After the first week where we work on the positioning, in the first week after that, she got 3. The next week we got 2, and that was after increasing the fees 50%. And she got 3 high-level clients straight away. Now, we did a quick calculation that if all she kept was those 3 clients, no more, over those 3 years, and started 3 years ago, she would have had an additional $140,000 in the bank account. How much did free information really cost her? Free information. Information without implementation cost her $140,000. And I felt like I let her down by not kicking her in the bum earlier. Today, there will be an opportunity for us to work together to implement. So you can take this free information and you can be like Janine and you can walk away. I'm going to give you the best of the best. There's no problems with that. But at the end, I'm going to make it as attractive as possible for us to work together to implement this and actually make a difference. Not make you more knowledgeable, but actually make a difference in your business. Because your high value positioning increases the clarity for other people. They know exactly who you are, what you do. Increases the quality of your clients, increases the number of your clients, and increases referrals. We've got a physio that created their program, and they were the creator of XYZ Back Care program. So instead of somebody hurting their back and a friend saying, oh, I know a good physio. I know a good physio. I know a good physio. We all know a good something. You're competing. Oh, I know this great physio who has this brilliant XYZ Back Care program. It's memorable. You need to go and see them. Your referrals will go through the roof. So get your sheet of paper out. Now it's time. It's the fun time. Let's start putting some money in your bank. Okay. All of those people had amazing and dramatic increases in their income just from changing their positioning. Okay, a great buddy of mine, he came to me as a web and an app developer selling $500 website, and he was killing himself just churning out website after website. We realized he was doing things different to other people, but wasn't communicating it. He became a digital business strategist. He now converts over 95% because people come to him knowing that they're going to pay more. He sells some of his packages for $100,000, and he added 6 figures in the first 6 months of changing. On average, most people get a jump at least 30% in their monthly income, 30%, just by adding and changing their positioning. I've made it easy for me, and that would be an extra $3,000 over the 12 months. That is an extra $36,000 over the 12 months. You work it out for you. What is your monthly income? Add 30% to it, and then times it by 12. What's your monthly? If it's 3,000 or 4,000, okay, 30% of that, make it an extra 1,000 over the next 12 months. That's going to be an extra $12,000 by just changing your positioning. That will be the minimum. That's the power of doing this. Give you a little bit of time to do that. If there's any questions, you can whack them in the chat. Okay. As I said, I'm making these numbers as easy as I can for me. Exciting time. Podcasting. Podcasting is one of the most underrated, fastest growing, misused platforms on the planet. So we're going to spend a little bit of time on this, and you will be able to see where you can actually, multiple ways that you can make money from this. Type a big E in if you're excited about learning how to leverage podcasting. Get your fingers working. You can put your calculator away now. We've put some money in your bank. We've got a few people excited. Well, that's just two of you. Great. I'll talk to you. Oh, we've got triple E's. That's even better. All right. Now, have a look at this. I'm going to move this over here a little bit. Give me some room. Got it. Okay. Have you noticed the reach and the rubbish on social media is getting worse? The reach and effectiveness in most posts is shrinking. Podcasts and listeners are increasing rapidly. There's 3.4 million podcasts out there. Let's just say most of them have interviews. Let's just say 10 per year. They need somebody to speak on it. That's a lot of people that are needed. Those who come and join with us, I'm going to give you a download of 958 of the top podcasts that you can get on, platforms that have got hundreds of people on. We're going to help you find, and I've even tied up with one of the owners of a brand new platform where you can do one of his programs and you are guaranteed your first 3 interviews. Would that help, knowing that you've got something that's going to guarantee your first 3 interviews before we go even further? You have at least 30 minutes in front of a targeted market to talk to them and create a relationship. On Facebook and the other platforms, you've got mere seconds to grab their attention. You can target exactly who you want to talk to. Pick the right podcast. You've picked the right audience. You're talking to the right people. Social media, you have absolutely no control. No control. Who sees? You are introduced as the trusted authority. Social media, you fight in a sea of sameness. Audiences come to listen to you. Social media, you just pop up, interrupting their day. The host asks you to share your expertise and your information as to where they can work with you. Social media, you just start talking about yourself. If this was a set of fishing and you were to fish here, you would be fishing in a little boat in a big ocean with lots of different fish swimming past, and you don't know which one you're going to try and catch. Here, you're fishing in a pond that is stocked, full of your ideal fish. You know exactly what bait to use. They're not going anywhere. Where would you prefer to fish? Put a P in if you would like to fish in the pond, or you would like to fish in the big ocean. Do you want to fish in the pond or the big ocean? Because today I'm going to teach you how to fish in the pond, how to find the right pond, how to turn up with the right bait, and how to land the best fish. Cool. Think about this and write this one down. The way to become well known is to become known well. Do you think at the end of 30 minutes, 60 minutes, somebody will know you well? Yes, that's how you become well known. That's where you start. When you get your language right, you get the right referrals, you get the right people at the end of it, and you really do start generating some great leads. Okay, one of the early ones, and this is one of the frameworks that you will get when we work together. Just have a little water. I got introduced to a very high level podcast. If you're going to know anything about marketing, these are the gods of marketing. These are the heroes that I've looked up to. When I was introduced to say, Steve, I've got you a pre-interview for this podcast. Here's the people that are there. Oh, okay. So I looked at it and I thought, okay, the host says, hey, Steve, you've been introduced. They said you should be a good guest. What is it that you do? And I came out with the cookie cutter. And you've probably used it. You've probably heard it. I help these people get these results. And he said, oh, you're just a sales trainer. And I thought, this is not going to end well. And then it was like, how do I get out of this? How do I share some nuggets? And I actually tried a couple of things, shared a couple of the interesting nuggets, like the brown box syndrome that I spoke about there. And I shared a couple of extra interesting things. And every one of those that I shared in a way, the host got closer and closer. It started off, look, Steve, if we feel that you qualify, we'll probably record in about 2 to 3 months. That's the backup that we have. Within about 10 minutes of using this new framework of being able to tell what I could do, he said, Steve, do you have time in the next 2 weeks? This is great. So I went back and thought, okay, I need to package this. I need to create the framework. And all of my people, those who work with me, we spent 2 weeks on the pre-chat. The pre-chat. Here's the thing. This should be banned. Write this down and then cross it out. Never, ever, ever, ever use this if you want to get on somebody's podcast. I am passionate about and I can talk on. Put an H. Doesn't have to be you. Put an H in there if you've heard somebody say that, either in a networking group or getting on and off podcasts. You've heard it around, oh, look, I'm passionate about this and I can speak on this. Yeah, lots of H's. No. Don't have time to go into the psychology, but it doesn't get you the results that you want. Those that go through training with me, we get some amazing results from the pre-call. Also think about this. The podcast is the door to open opportunities, not the destination. It's the door. The pre-call is where you open up massive opportunities. Deb was one who was actually used this. This partnering opportunity, the pre-call framework basically works. Before I could even invite her, she was a host. Before I could invite her to be a guest, she wanted to talk about partnering up. She will be a guest on my interview series and we will launch a new program and promote it during that. That is just one of the ways that we teach about collaborating with the host and some of the audience. So she basically has followed the formula, had the chat with the host, and generated a new program and has launched it via the podcast. Here are the 4. I'm going to rip through these very, very quickly. 4 different ways that you can make money as a podcast guest. Most focus on this one here. They put all the pressure on the actual episode. Oh, I've got to do a good thing. I've got to answer all the questions. I've got to see most people. And again, another little saying, be the prize, not the professor. Don't do an info dump. We teach you exactly how to have the conversations and really work amazing work doing it. Okay. So when you excite the host and excite the audience, not just deliver and answer questions. See, this is what really bugs me. A lot of people out there teaching people how to be a good podcast guest is basically teaching you how to be a good interviewee. I'm going to change my color. Quickly, here's some training I need to throw in. There are 3 relationships. There's the host and you, the guest. There's you, the guest, and the audience. And there's this one here, the host and the audience. Most people don't know about. You need to excite the host in your pre-chat. They're probably going to do some more promotion. They're going to get on. The energy in the actual podcast is different when you excite the host. When you have the right pre-chat, they're excited about doing more with you. Wow. I didn't know you did all that. I know more people that need what you have. What if we organize something extra? What if we do something else? What if we do an event? And where a lot of your extra additional income will be some of the different things that you will do just with the host alone. There's also the you and the audience. Now, there's ways that we teach you, scientifically proven ways to teach you how to bring the audience in. And you can do it through the host. And I have Linda Marie in front of me. She's my host right now. And Linda Marie, this next bit is just for your people because I know they're going to love this. So if you're watching, listening to this right now, get your pens out, even if it's a recording, get your pens out because this is just for you. Now, I've just wrapped my arms around the audience. I've given them a surge of oxytocin and they think, wow, this is just for me. I'm not sitting back just listening to an interview. I'm part of this. There's so many different ways that you can enhance your relationship. When you give them those surges of oxytocin, dopamine, etc., they don't want it to end. When they're getting to the end as well, hurry up and tell me all about where I can work with you because I'm getting great value and I really like you. When you do that, your results, this set of results here goes through the roof. But this one here, we teach a lot on, is enhancing the audience, the host and audience relationship. And I have Akila here, and I'm going to put her up on a pedestal. You've just asked me a question. Great question, Akila. And look, you know from all the fantastic work that you do in this area that blah, blah, blah. So I've just elevated and edified Akila in front of her. I've given her a surge of dopamine. It's like, well, thank you, Steve. I'm feeling really good about this. The audience is saying, wow, our host is somebody really special. When we've got we've got pages of things that you can do. When you have this flying around the episode, your results, your calls, your clients, and your collaborations go through the roof. Had one of my clients in my high coaching program, didn't know, she said, Steve, can you help me with podcasting? I said, yeah, sure. She said, I'm paid to be on 3 months of podcasts, 2 to 3 a week, and I haven't got a client in 3 months. I thought, what? When I looked at it all, and this stimulated what we're doing today, I saw what they were doing. We turned it around in 2 weeks, 2 podcasts in a row. She generated $2,500 clients after not doing any in 3 months. And that's just from getting this bit right here. The next bit are referrals, pass on. When you deliver some great work, you do it uniquely, follow the framework that we deliver, the host and the audience will want to pass you on. The next two are where the big dollars are. This is the leverage. You can partner, put programs together, or they can promote joint events. And you don't have to be on the biggest. A lady came to me 12 months ago and said, Steve, I don't have a very big podcast, but my people would love you. And I treat everybody with respect, absolute respect. I said, let's have a look. Yeah, your people would get value out of it, and I'd love to do one for you. They never got any more than 100 downloads ever. And I thought, yeah, sure. But that person there, we collaborated. We did another event, and she was an affiliate for 2 of mine others. That person there, despite having one of the smallest podcasts ever, generated me $16,000 in 6 months just by applying these two together. Okay. And here's some of the others. This one happened to me fairly recently. We booked from our pre-chat, we booked a 90-minute workshop and generated $14,000. We co-created a product that is still generating $2,000 to $4,000 per month. Partnering. So promote and partner. We did the interview and 2 people actually joined my high-level program. So that's 3 of the P's in action, adding up to generate some significant income. This one was a student in February, did the pre-call. They booked a webinar together and made $12,000 before the podcast was even recorded. And one more, she said it's all falling into place. She did her first collaboration using the framework. Thank you for making it so easy. You can guesswork, you can hard work, or you can framework. Type in 4 Ps. If you believe the 4 Ps will help you generate income, is it good now that you're seeing the 4 Ps and not just, I have to answer some questions and I hope somebody will contact me one day? Can you believe that the 4 Ps is the leverage to be able to generate some significant income when you're doing this? Awesome. And you're probably thinking, where do I get found? As I said, I'm going to give you, for those who come, the podcasters directory, 958 of the leading podcasts that you can get on, or we teach you how to use it as market research. Have a look at all the different categories and where you can find yours. So we leverage that a different way. You get 3 complete months free in the joint venture directory, a free listing on Event Raptor where there's 2,000 hosts, speakers, and events. So we don't leave you alone and say, well, now I've learned all this, where do I go? No, we help you get on. So let's see how that may affect your bank balance. Now, we've spoken about, get your sheet out again. I can see people sticking their head down ready to write. Okay. If all your positioning did and podcasting did, do you think that would be able to generate you just at least 1 referral per month? Changing your positioning, changing how you spoke on podcasting, the podcast host, just from the host or your existing clients, 1 client per month. What would that mean to you? Whether they're a $300 client, $500 client, or a $1,000 client. So the interesting thing is, I haven't done the accumulation here. If you get 1 client the first month and keep them, and you get another one the next month, that means you get 2 clients the next month, 2 paying you, 3 the next month, 4 the next month, 5, 12. If all you did was 1 client per month, adding to your total, that ends up being 67,000 just from adding 1 client per month instead of 12. That's the accumulation. So these numbers are very low compared to what they could be for you. Let's say you do 1 podcast per month, you generate 2 or 3 calls, and again, you generate 1 client per month just from an hour or so getting on, having calls, an hour doing the podcast, and then you've got clients coming to you. Some of you may have webinars that you do. You may do events that you do, masterclasses, live in-person events. But if all you did is 1 every 3 months, much less than what you've seen at only generating 5,000, that might be 10 new clients at 500. That alone, by finding a pool where you could go regularly and tap into being able to do group presentations. As I said, this part is all about how do I get in front of more of my ideal clients? And this is one of the easiest, most reliable ways that you could do it. So on this alone, you think, okay, there's a little bit here and there's a little bit there. That in itself has added up on the numbers that I'm doing. If you're less than that, you want to halve it. That has added up so far for the year as 80,000. Halve it, 40. Halve it again, 20. Put 20 in the chat if you would be happy with an additional $20,000. Just put 20 in if you would be happy with an additional 20. No one. Okay. Sorry, I can't give it to you. Oh, we got a few 20s coming in now. Yeah. Okay. So we've divided it big time. All right. So that's the podcasting. So far, we've helped you stand out. You know how you can generate and be. We've shown you where you can go and get in front of a lot of people. It works day in, day out. Don't have time. Well, no, I don't have time to tell you this. But Monday last week, in a 90-minute period over 2 calls, one, I was being interviewed for 25 minutes. one I was getting ready to go to be a choice of somebody else's, generated $30,000 potential income for those 2 calls. What I'm teaching you today works today. Nothing that happened years ago, it works today. So far, how are we going? We've generated, yes, you can stand out and attract. Now you know where to go and get them. How the heck do I sell to them without being pushy or sleazy? On a scale of, let me just think here, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you don't particularly like selling and you avoid it, and 10 being I jump out of bed every morning thinking, who the heck can I sell to? I love it with a passion. 5 in the middle, I don't like it, I tolerate it, it gets by, but I know I can get better. Somewhere between 1, 5, 10. If you're good at it, you don't mind it, you're probably about a 7 or an 8. If you struggle, you get by. We got some 6s. Yeah, we got some good. Okay, great. I'm going to give you some tools to take you from not liking it to liking it, and from being good at it and enjoying it. Okay. So the big question is, what are you really selling? And most people that I know in their communication, they're not actually communicating the value of what they're selling. They're communicating the box of what they're selling. I sell XYZ coaching. I sell XYZ consulting. Okay. And a lot of people that are running their business have this bit, I won't say wrong, it could be better. When you're selling the box and the box value and it's hard to sell, it's because you are selling the box value. The agreed my pen doesn't spell very well this time of the day. Agreed implementable value is the key. And we teach you how to do that. Even on a podcast, your framework that I'm going to teach you in the next 9 minutes is crucial. And you have people salivating around what it is that you do. See, the box value is just the nuts and the bolts. And they take that box value and they'll go and compare it to somebody else and somebody else. But when you indicate the agreed implementable value, what it is that you get when you work with somebody, how their life will change, your whole business will change. And there's a framework that we do. Talking of recent and exact results, Leanne is currently doing one of our Podcast Profits programs, and obviously has been struggling to communicate what it is that she did. So she's gone to the training and watched some of the replays, because you get replays of everything that we do, as well as online program. This came in yesterday morning, so it's pretty recent. I want to say a huge thanks. I've been going over and over the information in this course, and something or a few things have finally clicked. I wrote my BX 40-second intro this morning and nailed it. Won the best intro and have a ton of business owners wanting to connect. 40 seconds to generate clients. Would anybody like that? Communicate what you do in 40 seconds. That's what we teach you. How to communicate the power of what you do, not exactly what you do, the power of the implementable value. When people get it, it's like, oh my God, we got here, we've got some things. We got John, we got David. Oh my God, David, I understand what it is that you do and how my life and or business will change. I have to talk to you. Instead of, oh, I know what you do. No, people know what the box is. It's this that they need to know. This next example, so that you can understand how it all works, is a guy who is a financial planner. Now, there's not many of those around, are there? Financial planners, financial advisors. There's probably only 2 or 3 per country, isn't there? 200,000 or 300,000 per country. John's nodding his head. Jeff's nodding his head. Paul's nodding his head. There's a lot out there. Okay. So Clyde said, Steve, I'm in a franchise. They're not marketing. I'm really struggling. How can you help me? I'm constrained. And the reason I picked this is because he was constrained. He was within a franchise. So what we will do with you, there's a process you'll go in the first 2 weeks. We'll uncover your unique authority position and how to communicate it. So yes, he was a planner. That's his planning. He also moved from a mortgage broker to become a planner. He's got the mortgage background, and he's also got a background of an accounting. So we created his three-dimensional financial review. He was selling accelerated wealth creation, not financial planning. He could be standing on a trade show side by side with other Yellow Brick Road franchisees, which is what they did to generate leads. And he would always walk away with 4 times the leads that the others would. Instead of saying, hey, I'm a financial planner, I do financial planning. He's like, hey, I'm a little different to most. I've got a complete three-dimensional financial review to help you create accelerated wealth. As a planner, I can look at where you're at and make sure that you've got enough money to retire on comfortably. As a mortgage broker, I'll have a look at your expenses and make sure you're not paying too much. And as an accountant, I can look at your structures to make sure that you're not paying too much tax. When would you like to book in for your review? Is that different than I'm a planner, I sell planning? He went away from the box and sold the agreed implementable value. Simple, all within the realms. His results were astounding. They would have 80% book and turn up. He collaborated with them and sold the agreed implementable value, not, hey, do you want to buy my financial planning? It's X dollars. He broke the norm in the company. He doubled his fees. He doubled his conversion rates and doubled referrals. At the time, he finished up, he left, and we've helped him set up your local money mentor as his own franchise. Are they good results? From a ultra brown box to jump out of the brown box and take control himself. Type in the whole word control if you want more control of your clients and your income. Type in the whole word control if you want more control. Got a few people typing in control. Awesome. Okay. Excellent. Got a few coming through there. What do we got here? Okie dokie. Hey, quick question. How many people here love objections? You don't have to type anything in. I can see the smiles on your faces. How many people love objections? What if I could give you a formula that virtually eliminates objections? I'm going to spend 2 to 3 minutes on this. I know a couple have gone through part of my program and know what this means. Scientifically, and I work with a company in America, Decision Labs, who test everything, testing the order of information, insights, questions, etc. This is scientifically the most powerful sales flow you can ever have. You can use it everywhere. Okay. The first one, I'm going to do 2 things here. If you've got a sales call or you're in answering questions, I'm going to try to do 2 hats to give it both at once because I'm really conscious of your time. Data. You will give some information. If you're having a sales call, they've got a problem, you say, yep, we can fix it this way. Here's a little bit of information. You've been given a question. Yep, this is fantastic. I can answer that. Here's my nugget of information to answer that question. Most people will then go again and again and again. Okay? Then a narrative. And there is a specific way that we structure hero stories. Absolutely. Where at the end of the story, the person is virtually saying, I want what they're having. Okay, it basically goes through the pain, solution, payoff in a way you deliver it in 90 seconds and people are saying, wow, I get the information, I get how it works, but not only that, I want what they're having. So that's the narrative, that's the hero stories. Then quantify. Quantify the results. It's like, wow, okay, you did that for that person. That's very similar to me. I want that. So you can have that in your podcast questioning answers. You follow this, people at the end of it will be saying, this is fantastic. They've given me some fantastic information. I see how it works. I see how they help people. Sign me up tomorrow. And then confirm. You don't always do it in a podcasting situation, but in a sales situation it is. So we've actually gone through, given some information, shown how it worked. And I've got John there. John, could you see that working for you? The same as we just spoke about Bob? Yeah, that could work for me. Well, if that could work for you, what would it mean to you and your business if we did that? And he would come out with X dollars, or what other emotive values are there? Okay, there's two. There's the financial, there's the emotive value. We've quantified. Say, wow, if we did that, is that a high priority of yours right now? Because they have clarity of the problem, clarity of the outcome. So they are now working on the agreed implementable value, not the box. You haven't spoken about the box yet. You're actually just putting more value into the agreed implementable value and confirm. It's a very straightforward, very powerful, but when you get it right, it will overcome objections. When you've done that 2 or 3 times, there's the costs, there's the time, all of that comes out in the different stories. We teach you how to do that. And it makes your pod guesting so much more interesting, so much more powerful. And it has people excited about what it is that you do, not educated. Can you see the difference between being excited about what it is that you do versus educated? Because this framework here, when you get that, it makes a massive difference. I know some of you may know Sashua. She's gone through the program and she's gone through it a couple of times because that's what I do. I allow you to. And she's a leadership trainer. She's not a sales guru. She's a leadership trainer. Steve, the DNQC is really starting to flow and I'm closing 100%. It's not because she's pushy. It's not because she's become a better salesperson in the typical sense of the word. It's because she uses a proven conversational framework. How many of you would love to, put an E in there, love to enjoy sales conversations? How many would love to enjoy? Yeah. I can see many of you here right now. And so instead of getting on there, put your hand up if you like helping people. I can see some hands going up. Yep, most of you got your hands up. I was going to say get out of the room if you don't have your hand up right now. Most of you love helping people. Great. How many of you love selling yourself? Most are down. See, the thing is, selling is professionally servicing other people's needs for a mutually beneficial gain. When you have a framework like this, you are working with them, uncovering their needs, showing the possibilities of what life could be like if you work together. And then the logical next steps, because they're excited, it just flows. It's flow. It comes from my book, Flow Selling, How to Accelerate and Enhance Client Flow. That's part of the advanced sales program. Those of you who are coming to join us today will actually get access to. So that pretty well is the sales part of it. So we've gone through how can we help you stand out uniquely, communicate your message so people love it and understand it. How can you leverage the value of podcasts? And even if all you did was didn't do any events and did podcasts and generated one client per month per podcast, then that makes a massive difference. Using the DNQC, people have generated 100% conversion rates, 50% conversion rates, massive conversion rates. But if all it did was increase your sales flow 30%. So if your monthly income, even now when you've added all that on, is, say it's 5K, okay, that is still roughly 1,500 extra per month with less stress and more confidence just by doing this. And if we were to put that 30 on top of what we just have already done here, that's an additional $24,000. But I want you to work out yours. Would it be valuable for your business if you were having 2 or 3 calls a month and you converted 2 out of the 3 versus 1 out of the 3, and you enjoyed, you didn't avoid them? How much would that mean to your business if you got excited to have collaboration calls, not just I hate selling? What we've done so far, if you're in the high end of the growth phase, we've added easily 104,000. But what I need you to think of right now, the financial planner, the dentist, the business consultant, the VA, were they superheroes? Were any of them superheroes? Were any of them different to you? Because the thing that you need to think of now, if they can do it, you can do it. There's nothing different. Some of these people have generated in excess of 50, 60, 70,000 since they've started with me by using this formula. But if all we did was, we take that out, we'll divide that, we'll divide that, we'll divide that. If all it did, we take it, divide it by 5. If you think maybe you're not a fifth as good as these other people that have done it, divide it by 5, that is still $20,000. And generally, that will come very early. I'm not going to ask for your exact calculations. So from the numbers that you have calculated for you, just for you, because this is all about you, have you calculated over a 12-month period, if you implemented this right, followed these numbers, are you in the emerging? You've added an extra 10 to 30. Are you in the growth, 30 to 100? Or you're in the leverage, 100 plus? Just type in, again, EGL. And whatever it is, it's right for you. It is right for you. If you've got an emerging business, then an extra $10, $20, $30,000 above what you already have planned. Because that's the next question. What do you already have planned above what you're currently doing now to generate an additional $20, $30, $40,000? What are your plans? Because what you're doing now is generating what you're doing now. What are you going to do different to get that extra 20, 30, 40, 50? We've got a couple of G's and everything in here, which is fantastic. 30 to 100. That's valuable. So this system, be the prize, get you in front of more people and help you convert those with less stress, is what this system is all about. However, what I've given you today is knowledge. And just like a good iceberg, the 90% that below the water is the implementation. What would happen if you cut this off, took that part of the iceberg away and put it in the water? you take your knowledge and have a crack at it by yourself, it'll happen. There'll be the 10% above the water and there'll be the 90% below. It'll sink down. So you'll actually be having that top 1%. As we said before earlier, knowledge isn't power. What I've given you today means absolutely nothing. You'll come back 6 weeks' time if you've done nothing about it, and all you'll be saying is, yeah, I went to an interesting workshop the other day. There's some good stuff there. I've done nothing with it, and my business hasn't changed, and I've made no more money. But it was an interesting thing. See, there's a lot of people that do run around, collect this knowledge, and it becomes what's called shelf help. You run around, you get the knowledge, and it goes on the shelf. And you do absolutely nothing with it. And I can't let you do that. I can't, honestly. I opened my gym 40 years ago, and I told my staff, and I did it myself, you do whatever it takes to get somebody started today. Because if they walk out the door, we will see them 6 months later up the street, and the only exercise they will get will be to run across the road to avoid us, and they will be 6 kilos heavier, and we will have let them down. If you walk out today and I haven't done my utmost to get you started to implement this, because it is the tip of the iceberg, the people that it's already helped. We've had over 100 people go through this program and some phenomenal results just from changing 40 seconds to get a queue of people by getting your positioning and your communication right. There are so many facets that go across the whole of your business. If it's okay with you, I'm going to spend a little bit of time. And you know what? I used to really push through hard to get this done quickly. But I realized the next 20 minutes is the most important part of today that I could give you. I've got it all, pardon the French, ass about face, back to front. Yeah. Here's the information. Here's the information. Here's the information. Oh, by the way, here's how you can implement it. No. The implementation and how I can best help you is the most important part. So I'm going to slow down, take my time to make sure that you understand that the decision that you make today to do something or not to do something is going to be founded on having the best knowledge. You are being invited to a program that I've had the first group go through with amazing success. And it is the business part of it, the Podcast Accelerator program. And it has 4 main key components to it. It has the blueprint conversion system. Everybody that you have seen there, right from the dentist, everybody across there, right through to the financial planner, has gone through the blueprint conversion system. It's all about the positioning, the packaging, and sales. That's the business part of it. We've just finished that with the current group with amazing results. Then there is, how do you get on more? How do you leverage more podcasts and have more people come to you following the 4 Ps to grow your business profitably as a podcast guest? There is a new module going in this program and your program on how to be a more profitable host. So I'm pulling that together as in the hosting of it all, because it's likely that I may go back and actually host. Okay. Then the sales part. This is a program that I've created for high-level sales. You get complete access to it. Okay. Whether you're selling the smallest to the biggest. One of our clients created his blueprint. He was actually selling commercial solar financing. So we repositioned, created his blueprint. The first call that he had using the blueprint and this system, he generated $500,000 per month on one call. He was a professional salesperson, but they were struggling because it was competitive. You get the exact training that he got. Okay? So you get that exact training. The video mastery. Some of you may or may not know, I've had a little bit of experience with video and TV. Hosted TV show on our national network here, Channel 9, executive producer for Warner Brothers, and I have been interviewed on network TV across 5 continents. So this video mastery was a 10-day course. You get access to it because most podcasts are now filmed as videos because they want to leverage YouTube and all of those sorts of things, okay? So video mastery is there, how you can connect with the people through the lens, how you can change your intonation, your cadence, and how you can really excite the people so that they really want to work with you. To be able to do that and have people attracted to you, how to create your addictive personality just through the lens. That's super powerful, and that's all there for you. So if you think, oh, I'm not that good, you get the scripting, you get everything to go with video mastery, and of course you get group mentoring. This is not a course, a program where you go and do it and you get left. Like it or lump it, you're stuck with me. Would that be okay with you, that I stick with you? And I'm not your coach, I'm not your mentor. Type a P in there if you want me to partner with you all the way through. I'm not going to leave you. I'm like, what is it? The American Navy SEALs? No one gets left behind. That's with my programs. You don't get left behind. So the blueprint conversion system, as you can see, I will go through it. We create your unique authority positioning. You know the power of that now. You create your high value programs and offers and how you communicate it. And that's how Leanne did her queue of clients in 40 seconds, by communicating the high value in a very short period of time. We build your blueprint. You only saw a couple of examples of it. They are super, super powerful. Takes the pressure off you. And the last module of that is conversions, how you can enroll more without being pushy or salesy. Hey, does anybody here like fast results? I mean, geez, Leanne was 1 day and 40 seconds. So that's going to be pretty hard to beat. This one's going to be hard to beat as well. Ryan, this is a video. Here's the words that he used. Steve, I devoured the blueprint conversion system online course over the weekend. He didn't even wait for the mentoring. I got clarity, reworked my position, and created my blueprint. I used it all on the Monday and signed a $15,000 client. Best investment ever. Thanks, Ryan. To be able to implement straight away and use it straight away is how this program is set up for you. No, you got to wait till month 6 to get results. If you're not getting some sort of traction in the first few weeks, then we need to really look at it. And guess what? I'm there to help you look at it. Ryan got fast results. Okay. There's a fair amount of detail on this, which I'm not going to go into all of it, but basically the Podcast Profits training is how you can stand out, be invited to have more pre-calls, how you can have those pre-calls and monetize the pre-calls, how you can get on and excite the host and the audience so that you're monetizing your episodes, and then the work after that as well. We also give you the resources to be able to find. Just as a recap, these are just 3. There is one more that we're adding in there that guarantees your first 3 interviews. So we don't leave you behind. We don't teach you something, go and find it. We're with you step by step. Now, I do need to share with you the overall cost and breakdown of what's in the box. Ideally, by now, you've had a look at and say, well, if I implement this, not just learn it, but if I implement this, it's going to make a massive difference. The blueprint conversion system on its own is, and it has been up until 12 months ago, sold on its own, $19.97. If you were to do Podcast Profits on its own, the training and the resources, it's $14.97. The Video Mastery, that 10-day course, was also $14.97. The 8 weeks, initial 8 weeks, personalized mentoring, me with you every week for 8 weeks, $1,500. You get your virtual selling elite that the high-level people got for $19.97 and a private group. If you were to box this up and buy it separately, it was and in USD, because my people are everywhere, just on 9,000. Now, would Ryan have thought that that was a good investment? He bought it. 2 days later, he implemented it, and he doubled his return on investment in 4 days. The guy who sold $6 million over the phone, was that a good investment? Yeah. Janine, who got 3 high-level clients in the first 2 weeks, would that have been a good investment? But you know that my promise to you is that's not what you're going to pay. So don't stress about that right now, because it's my anniversary birthday, you have a never to be repeated way of getting started. But you don't just get a course. You get knowledge, you get skills for life. Now, Leanne, who has been able to repackage her 40 seconds and generate clients, do you think that she has to give that back at the end of the training? Do you think the skills that you learn to be a great podcast guest, you have to give that back at the training? You get skills for life. You get accountability and butt kicking, and you get mentoring. I'm calling it partnering. What does that mean to you? Clarity. Write this down. One of the last things I'm going to get you to write down. Clarity equals cash. You get clarity who you are, what you do, who your target market is, how to communicate, and how to generate clients. You get confidence, the ability to know you're going to have a sales conversation and it's going to be a positive. You get consistency. You know how to, where to generate consistency of income. And finally, as an entrepreneur, you can generate control. Those 4, just put in 4 C's. Would those 4 C's be of value to you guys? Clarity, confidence, consistency, and control. Yeah, we've got a lot of 4 C's here. The personalized group mentoring, you get fully recorded weekly 60 to 90-minute calls. They never stop at 60. Private Facebook group where there's lots of activity. You're putting things in there and you've got great quality people working with you and quite often collaborating, doing joint ventures. A lot of them are starting to happen in here. Or, hey, I've just been on a podcast. I know they would love you. Let me introduce you to this host because you will be able to get on that one as well. There are so many things happening within this group. And now what's happening is hosts are coming to me because of the training that you get. Steve, do you have anybody on this topic? Because I know they will be a brilliant guest for my people. Not somebody who's just going to sit there and answer questions. Quality podcast hosts are now asking for those people who have done podcast profits. You get Q&A and you get hot seats as well. That's where the magic happens. You come, you bring any sort of questions, and we work on them with you and for you. Okay? When you join today, you get immediate access. Seconds after you register, you can jump in and start doing the training, and you can get into that as much as you want. I will tell you what you need to do first, and then you can do the rest at your leisure. Now, the group mentoring, if you made today, it starts exactly the same time tomorrow. They are Fridays, Australian time, Thursdays, US, 9 a.m. SID, 4 p.m., 7 p.m. US, and wherever you live, I don't have all that calculated for you. We're in the middle of a group now, but you are most welcome to come along. We're starting to get into the podcasting side of things. We've done the business. You can come and pick up that. That's not a problem. You can join us tomorrow for live training if you want to. The new group, the new flow of the format starts late September. So in about 3 weeks' time. So you've got time to go through all the training. You got time to come along and do the podcasting side of it. That's not a problem. And you can start again in September. But what you've got to remember, this is not a course. This is not a program. This is an implementation of whatever it was that you calculated. Some of you were emerging, somewhere between 10 and 30. Some of you were growth, 30 to 70. So this isn't a course. This is an implementation of what you had calculated. Let's make it happen, because that's what it's all about. Just as a quick recap, all the technical things that are in the box, because I do have to talk about the box. But basically, this here, whatever your number is what you're getting. So what we put together, because it is birthday week, that whole thing there that we've told you was $8,988 USD. Now I'm going to flick the switch here and we're going to cut that price. One thing I do need to tell you, and Hunter knows this, I've just signed with a marketing company in America, UK, to do the marketing of another high-level program, nothing to do with this. And they've looked at this and they, Steve, can we do all of this for you? However, the number in front of what you're doing needs to start with a 5. So what you see today will be the last of what it is. Okay, this company is really excited of what it is, but it will be marketed globally through them, and they're going to push it out to a whole different audience. So we're slashing the price for you today. And if you think I might come back next time will look a lot different. So that's that. I'm slashing from USD to AUD. You can actually get started today for just 444 AUD. For those of you who are in America, that's 300. The 1888 in the US, I've done the calculation, that's just under 1300. So that's what we've got. The biggest thing is, are you prepared to invest just 444 today to get started and start getting some of the results that the other people have got? And as I said, this is not really going to be repeated. If you want to save around 500 in the overall fee, take the paid in full, okay? If you want to ease the cash flow and start generating, my guess is if you're the same as at least 50% of those that are going through the program, that and more is paid back to you in the first month. In fact, many of them have made so much more that the rest of their program is virtually free. So that's the goal, to get you quick results straight away. Now, I like action takers, fast people, because I'm an ex-sprinter. Those of you who join us in the next 48 hours will get what's called the 12-month gold pass. So you have automatically gone from an 8-week program to you've got me for 12 months. You can repeat the program as often as it's run throughout the year. You can stay in the Facebook group getting mentoring throughout the whole year. The value of that is there's a lot to do, and you get more, at least as much value out of the second time round, or potentially the third time round. Many of our people have changed a little bit of their plan of attack and have come back and say, Steve, I've got this new thing I'm working on, and we do the whole thing again. Now, if you're like Dominique, and she's gone through, and she was actually back again yesterday when we had our breakout rooms to practice and rehearse. She came back for that. She says, Steve, thank you for allowing us to come back for repeat sessions. I'm getting so much value second time around. I get to work on different things. So a lot of the time is the learning and the implementing. Then you start refining, and then you really do make a difference. And you've got the team around you for your support. Hunter, I haven't asked you, but can you put the links in, please? Hunter's sitting there waiting. You can jump through and you can register now, and you can really jump in and start making a difference by lunchtime today, okay? The big thing is what this demonstrates to you is my commitment to you. I'm not a course creator. I'm not your teacher. I'm not just your mentor. I'm with you working with you, partnering with you, making sure you're getting the right work out and the value over the next 12 months. Just type in 12 months if you would see that of value to have me with you for 12 months. Are they slow on the fingers or nobody likes me? Well, you're still here. You're here because of one thing and one thing alone. There's something that you need, that you want, that you need to get done and started. When you work with us, we are going to work through everything that we've said. Those three key things, how you can stand out and be different and rise above your target market. How you can, this is the next one, super valuable, how you can get in front of more of your ideal clients and communicate with them in a way that they see value in you, that they have to work with you. Now, I know some of you have already been on podcasts, and I know some of you have already been on podcasts and been in front of your ideal clients. If nothing's happened, nothing's going to happen again next time. It's what do you need to change when you get on more of those, that you have people queuing at the door to run with you. And when they do queue at the door, how do you have those conversations authentically and collaboratively so that they say, Linda Marie, this makes so much sense. How do we get started? When you use your blueprint, that will happen more often than not. How do I communicate what it is that I do? So I'm going to ask you three quick questions. Do you believe this works? Do you believe that those people that I have showed you, the information that I've given you, that they were not freaks of nature, that they were not freaks of business, that they were people just like you, and it could actually work for you? The next one's personal, and you might all run out and leave. Do you believe that I, as a person, can help you? Am I the person that you want to spend 12 months with? Of course, I guess you've spent nearly 90 minutes with me now. If you can spend 90 minutes with me, another 12 months won't hurt. Yeah, that's the big thing is, am I personally the one to guide you through all of this? I've done it for them. But the biggest question now is, do you believe in you? That's the question. Do you believe in you? Do you believe that you have what it takes to follow orders? Are you coachable is the big thing. Will you listen and will you implement? Because all those that have gets results. Okay, but do you believe enough in you? Do you believe enough in you for 400 Australian dollars, for 300 USD? Because that's all you need to believe enough in right now, and we will take the next step with you to really get some fantastic results. Now, I promised, and Hunter knows that I don't do this, I promised for today, being my 40th anniversary day, that I would do something to help you get started. This is the super fast action bonus for the first 5 of you. If you haven't already, click the link, come and join us. You will get the personal one-on-one. It's called a review and refine. I will personally review your bankable story. I will personally go through your blueprint with you and your sales conversation. I will personally go through your DNQC with you, and we will record a 15-minute interview that will be structured to highlight you as the leading authority in your market in a way that A, clients won't resist you. B, podcast hosts won't resist you. You will be able to use this anytime that you're going for a podcast pre-chat. Say, oh, hey, have a look at the short interview I did on the Entrepreneur's Locker Room, which is how it will be filmed and edited and given back to you as a marketing weapon. I do these separately. I used to own Business Online TV, and they were paying $2,500 plus GST for all of this. Okay. So For those of you that are going to join us straight away, we'll have a look at you coming through. Grab the link right now. It's in the chat. Come and get PodBiz Elite. It is the full business growth program. You get the 3 key things: standing out, getting in front of more of your people, and converting more of those more easily and having more fun to be able to turn them into long-term clients. So your basic choice is now. If you want to grab and be one of the first 5 and get that review and refine call, get that interview, jump in now. If you want to make sure you get the 48-hour bonus, you jump in now. You're with me for 12 months. There may be a question or two that you do have. Okay, I've got times later today. I've got times tomorrow that we can jump in. If you book your call today, you are within the 48 hours and we can have our chat. You may not be within the first 5 by the end of it, but you will be within the first 48 hours. Okay. So if you say, Steve, I need to have a call, there are a couple of things, but for $444, there's not that much you need to think about. The only question, and I will answer it now, but I'm only just starting out. Is this right for me? The answer is you better do it now, because quite often people start out not quite going the right way. I didn't say wrong, but not quite going the right way. And they get down the track. By the time we get to work with them, it's like, oh, damn, I've wasted that 6 months because I was going off in the wrong direction. Wouldn't it be great to have the clarity of who you are, what you do, how you stand out in front of the people as you build it, and then start getting traction very, very quickly? I sent out an email just the other day. Podcasting is one of the fastest ways that you can actually grow a brand new business. All we need to do is package your knowledge, your skills in a way that is of value to the audience, which is then of value to the host, and you will get gigs. You don't have to be in business 20 years. You just have to add value. We will work on that unique value that you add and will be adding to your people. It is the best way to start a new business instead of running around fluffing. So as long as we can package your unique value, that is, I'll let John do that. That is a major point. So if you're having that question, but I'm only relatively new, is this right for me? You better get your butt here, because otherwise you're going to be doing a lot of starting out, just like Janine did. She said, oh yeah, I'll wait till I get to this point. Wait till I get to this point. Wait till I get to this point. Her free information cost her $140,000. I've given you, and those of you who have seen and know what I do, I've given you my absolute best information today. You can walk away with it. However, how much is sitting on it going to cost you? It's the implementation. Look, you can start today for $444 and get stuck into it straight away. The links are in the chat.